What's cracking podcast? How's it going? Welcome back to podcast number 4. Um, Couple things we got to get out of the way. Yes, I have invested more money into this podcast. I got another pair of headphones. I got these Skull Candies. I remember when I was in middle school and high school, I would go through these suckers like a mofo. I think I guess I would lose some, or I'd tangle the wires up or something. I don't know. I was just really bad with them. So out of every every couple of months, I'd have to buy like a new pair because I broke them or something. Or yeah, most likely broke them. I don't lose stuff too much. It's not that bad because they're always like $10 or something like that. So it never hurt that bad. I'm not gonna lie to you, they sound really good. Like the sound that I'm getting right now from just the microphone is really good. So if you have to use wired headphones, the earbuds or whatever, I think these Skull Candy ones are some of the best ones. Because I bought some from Amazon, like Philips, which were $9 too. These are like $10. Actually, I think these might even been cheaper. I bought them at Walmart, and they are way better, 100 times way better fit in my ear at least. Um, Good news. We got up on stage today. Hell yeah, we did our 4 minutes and 30 seconds. We timed it today. I recorded my set. I didn't know I didn't know 100% sure. I didn't know 100% that I was going to go to an open mic, but you know, I I moved some things around. I got some things out of the way, and I had an opening at 5 o'clock, so I went down to the comedy club and I did my 5 minutes. Um, Kind of sucks because I'm like I was the fourth one to go up. Um, I was ill prepared. I didn't have new material. I had a little bit of stuff that I hadn't talked about yet, and I brought that up, and then I made some tags about the stuff that we were talking about in the actual open mic because I think that's important. Like I feel like yeah, maybe you have stuff written and stuff like that, but it's also important to be present in the moment. So like let's say something happens. Like today we were talking about um, how people dress up, how people change their opinion, how people change the opinion of you depending how you're dressed. Which is true because I'm not gonna lie to you. So I didn't think I was gonna go off topic. Dog, I smell like shit. Like I'm a big guy, so I sweat a lot. Like my pits sweat, and then like on my other flaps, I'm like my body, like my under boob sweats and shit, and then like my crotch area gets sweaty, and then I don't know what the fuck I was thinking, but I went to the open mic. I was stinky, and you know how I knew I was stinky? The moment I sat down, I sat next to this dude because I sat in the back because I'm like, okay, I gotta sit in the back so that I can go in through the lane, the aisle to get to the mic without like bumping into too many people. The dude moved. The dude moved. I never met the guy. I think I met the guy once. I think I was just too stinky for him. Homeboy had to leave. He's just like I cannot stand it. And I didn't think about it too much, but until like I got home, and then I started smelling myself. I'm like, I started checking. I checked my pits. I'm like, fuck. That's stinky. And then I check my underboob. I'm like, damn, that's stinky too. And then I was taking a shit and I like checked my crotch area. Sorry, people. Too much information. I understand that, but damn, that was stinky too. And I was like, fuck. I was so embarrassed. I was like, please, like, let the San dress fall, open up right now, and let me fall in between that crack and seal it up, and like, God never let me like come out again. I was very embarrassed. Like, especially like as a big guy, like I felt like like usually as a big guy, like you have to be very clean. Like, I have a bidet. I've been using a bidet maybe for like the last 2 years, and people, especially in my culture, Latino people, they don't get it. They don't get the whole like bidet thing. A lot of people, at least, I think it's weird. And I get it. It's weird. Like you get water squirted at your bum, but it cleans it so well, you know. And like my sister-in-law thinks it's the weirdest thing ever. It's kind of gross because I didn't want to like buy the one that you put in the on the toilet because I'm like, that's too much of an investment. Let me try one of those portable bidets first. And I did. I bought it, and I bought like a battery powered one, and then I bought like a non-battery powered one. I fell in love with it. Like my ass was so clean, still clean. Like this whole dudes not washing their ass on TikTok thing, it's terrifying me. Like I remember when I was little, my mom was like, "Mijo, whenever you're taking a shower, you you stand in front of the the shower head and you spread your cheeks wide open and you let water pressure come down and clean it out, and then you get your soap and then you clean your ass because then people start moving away from you because you smell too bad. And so I tried really hard to like not smell, and I smelled today, especially like lifting a bunch of heavy batteries and shit like that too. So I was super embarrassed, but I was like, fuck this. I don't know this guy. We're circling back. So whenever I'm at an open mic, I try to be present in the moment. Like I'll have a couple topics that I want to get onto, but if something happens, I try to like address it because I feel like that makes you funny too. Like that helps you out. Like it's like a little muscle that you're working out like in the moment. And I think I got too caught up in the whole getting dressed up in like attire because we're like my little joke was like because we were talking about like the purpose of a tie, and I was like, well, I always thought ties were like a spring summer scarf, that you wore around your neck. Like you want to cover your neck, but it's not cold, so you use this little tie. I still don't know what the tie really is for, but yeah, I didn't get that many laughs. So if you're not laughing now, don't worry. And I talked about, you know, my first topic, and then I talked about my second topic. I had a third topic that I was thinking about, but I hadn't written it down. It had just happened that day. It happened today, like earlier during the day, and I forgot to write the topic down. And like in the hustle and bustle of being up on stage, I totally forgot. And my joke, I think it was pretty good. I wrote it down to say it next time, but I'm not the best writer. Like I don't go. You know what? Let me go this whole week and write down 3 or 4 jokes or topics that I find interesting, and then talk about it. That's not something that I do. So You may be having performance issues. I may. Maybe I am. Is mine. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, guys. We'll keep doing this as long as we can. Anyways, so I wasn't able to say my last joke, which I think was really funny because it talks about like how I'm losing connections with my culture. That's a pretty funny joke. I'll tell it to you guys. I mean, you guys don't care, right? But the whole, doesn't matter, right? The premise is that I feel like I have been taken away from my culture for a long time. Like I don't work directly with people who speak Spanish as often as I used to. So when like my Spanish has probably been getting worse. It's still pretty good. It's better than most people's. By most people's, I mean people born in the United States, like Los Sabo kids and stuff. Like I think I have pretty good English, Spanish. Like I can get around and stuff like that. But like today in the morning, I went with my wife to go get a pair of shoes for her, right? And she's like, "Oh, let's go to this place in Santa Clarita that they film the way I run," which is weird because I'm like, well, you're not running, but whatever. I'm like, okay, let's go, little Hobbit feet. My wife's got like little Hobbit feet. Love her to death, but little Hobbit feet. Um, so she's running on the treadmill, and I can't tell you guys the joke, right? Never mind, I can't tell you the joke because, how do I say this? The fact that I thought about her feet being Hobbit feet is pretty. It goes against my culture, in itself. Anyways, scratch that. Let's do something else. Talk about something else. Overall, pretty bad set. Um, I was embarrassed because it's like I wasted my time and I wasted their time. Um, but I don't know. I feel like open mics are hard because everyone there is just comic wants to try to make it their own, But sometimes like we get like, caught up in our own stuff. It's hard. It's hard. And like I get it. Like there's this guy there that goes to the club, and he works there. He's a booker, and he always goes on the open mics, and I'm happy for him. I'm ecstatic that he goes on the open mics, and he never goes with his notebook up or anything. And I'm like, and he just starts ranting and talking, and like he like sometimes it's a hard start, but then he eventually gets into a little hole, and and people start laughing and giggling and chuckling, and it's like that's where I want to be, like where I can start like kind of ranting and going into funny things with having thought about it. But he does this. I would think he does this every day, except for days he doesn't work. So I'm like how much do you talk about? Like what do you really talk about? It scared me because I'm like, it made me feel that I was getting too, and I am like I'm too closed off in this club, and I think I should like go to other clubs And I don't want to feel cliquey in a bad way. Like, I don't want to feel like I love the people there and stuff. And today I actually called one of my friends that I met in that club who put me on another show, which is actually the first and second time that I've only been paid for comedy. And he put me on those two shows. So I was like, oh, and he's an older gentleman. So I called him up. I was like, yo, dude, haven't seen you in open mics, you know. I get it. I understand. Like, we have jobs and people are busy and stuff. So I'm like, I get it, you know. It's far away from you, but I really wanted to make sure he was okay because he is older dude. He's like a little bit older than retirement age, I think. So I was just like, he's like, are you making sure that I'm okay comedy wise? Or are you sure you're checking in on me like I'm not like dead, you know, because I'm an old person. I'm like, a little bit of both, dog. A little bit of both. But, you know, that's the price you pay when you have friends who are older. And it's true. I think I already lost. I don't even know, but I'm pretty sure that I lost a friend that I had at work. He would go visit and he would wash cars. He'd wash a car for like $30 or something. His name was Johnny. He was a nice guy, but he was really old. He was 60s, 70s or something. He went to Vietnam. Like, that's how old he was. And he was a cool guy. He was kind of weird. He was a weird character. Like, I remember, like, he would want, like, when he would order his food, he's like, hey, uh, can I get a can I get a bread with some butter? And I would go get and butter his bread, and he's like, can you put some sugar on it? And he's like, yeah, yeah. But he'd be like, can you put more butter? And dude, homeboy loaded up on the butter, like legit. I'm like, kudos to you, Johnny. I mean, if you're almost at Darth's at death's door, why not knock harder, you know? And he would tell me about like his problems, like, hey man, so I met this woman the other day, and she just wants me to pay for her phone bills. And he's like, yeah, she lets me touch her titties and stuff, but is it worth paying a phone bill? I'm like, how old is she? She's like, she's in her 60s. I'm like, yo, dog, you're getting pretty old. You touch, you haven't touched titties in a long time, so it's not why a little bit of your money goes to like paying a phone bill. Touch her titties, touch that girl's titties, that woman's titties. And then, like, he told me, he's like, he would go on hikes with her, and like, she tried to get him to pay for other stuff. Like, can you pay for my daughter's like gas tank or something? And he's like, yo man, I'm not made of money. I get like a set amount of money a month. And I'm like, well, there's a price you pay for touching titties, dog. And I have not seen him around since after the first pandemic, so I'm pretty sure that guy died. Johnny. Nice guy, I love him. I don't know if I loved him, but he was a good friend. He really, he was a genuine friend. That's true. Like, a friend love, but not like a best friend love. Like I never knew his last name. He doesn't know my last name. That's the kind of love I have for him. But I'm sure. Damn. So I started getting into the show Suits, which is pretty cool. It's I feel it's like a little late to get into it, but I have seen a couple of episodes, and the only time I watched it was when I was in Mexico for some time, and they had Netflix had that series at the time, and I was like, oh, let me watch it. I got tired of watching it, and my wife gets upset when I refer to the whatever her name is, the Duchess as a princess. I'm like, oh look, it's Merkel McConaughey. I don't know what her name is, but I'm like, hey look, it's the princess of England. She's like, she's not a princess. I'm like, she's a princess to me, but she's not a princess. She's a duchess. So she's the Duchess of God knows where. But I've been watching the show and it's pretty interesting. But nothing. I mean, it's just something we do, you know. Nothing groundbreaking, I guess. I already talked about my set, talking about my day. I don't even know if anyone listens to this. You know, I saw someone like the first video got 3 views, and then another video got 1 view, and it makes me think about like, what am I offering you guys? I'm offering you guys my perspective on what it's like to become a comedian, but I'm not a comedian yet, so like I'm in the process of. But I don't even know how I'm doing that, and I'm also talking to you guys about like my interests, things that I find interesting and stuff like that. And I saw a video on YouTube earlier, and there's this people talking. There's a couple. They're talking about like, am I the asshole for this? Then they were answering these kind of questions like in a podcast setting, and I'm like, it's cool, but am I them? Like, is my life just so uninteresting that I don't even think people would want to listen to my stuff? If there's someone out there that wants to listen to this, I feel like these are now just my own personal diaries, you know, that I'm talking into the internet, which I'm okay with, you know. I don't know what life holds for us, but I do, I do aspire to be a comedian, and these are just the stories that I have before I get there. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm funny. I don't know how funny I really think I am, but I feel very like the last couple of years I haven't felt too good about myself, but this last year I've been to a couple of different places, and like I tell my wife, like it's nice when my friends or when she tells me that she believes in me and she tells me that I'm funny, but it means so much more, you know, and I hate it when a stranger tells you that you're funny. Like it's like, oh, it's like a mini blowjob or something. Like you're so, or like that's what I was going for. I was going for humor, and these people, they get it, you know. Like I am funny, or I do make someone laugh or something. But now it feels just like the fight that I think we all have to do. We have to fight for the attention, and it sucks, you know, because you know how, you know, you have to put in the work. I have to write more. It's really interesting. Someone sent out a newsletter the other day of better ways of writing, and sorry if I blew into that thing. And it made sense. I like the topic, the way that guy was writing, and I think I'm gonna follow that style. You know who I would want to meet? I don't know how I'm gonna meet them, but I will. And it's kind of weird because he's a younger guy than me, and I kind of look up to him in the aspect of social media and like what he's doing. I wish he would do more comedy, like legit stand-up comedy. I don't know how to schedule this, but I would. I think he would be maybe good at it. Is Duno from Duno's World? I think. I think he he says he wants to do comedy, and he likes like Andrew Schultz and stuff like that. I just think maybe I don't know how his schedule is, but I would want him to work on his craft because he's funny. Like in the podcast, he's funny. So I'm like, how much funnier he would be if he dedicated the time to the craft, you know? Oh, there's this guy that I follow. Now I notice why I follow him. I should watch him because he does like videos on YouTube about like, oh, the Kalila Shab controversy, that or that Shab and Rogan are having a fight or stuff like that. Drama, I get it, whatever, in the comedy world, in the LA comedy scene. I don't know if he's a comedian or not. I think he might just be a YouTuber. I don't know. I'm just talking shit out of my ass, right? But I have I'm not Brendan Schaub's biggest fan in the aspect of I don't think all of his comedy is funny. There's some things that I think are funny, but it's hard. It's hard because I'm also starting off, and he has way more time doing this than I do. But when he's starting off, he already had a spotlight on him. So if I eat shit on an open mic, no one knows. You know, no one remembers my name once I get off of the stage. And it's like, this is Brendan, dude. He gets flack for it, and I get it. It's kind of hard that he's more popular than some of the new comics and stuff like that. And from a comic perspective, I understand why some people don't like him and why he has, like, why'd you film a special if you're not ready for a 40-minute, 1 hour special? I probably have 10 minutes at best. 10 minutes. I have a good 4 minutes and 30 seconds that I could tell you like, oh, 4 minutes and 30 seconds, maybe five. If you told me to do my best five in front of 1,000 people, I could do it. If you told me 10, maybe, but my life would have to depend on it. And it's just a matter of me having to write more and get into it. But like I understand to a certain degree what Brendan Schaub, like, working on your craft. But I feel like some people just make fun of him. One, I get it because it's easy to make fun of. That I do get. Like the dude, like the Poppy Gringo thing or whatever. Not all of it was funny. I don't know. It's hard. I haven't watched it the full thing, so I can't really talk about it. But some of the things some of these channels say, it's like, unless you've been on stage and have someone paying for your tickets, I really don't think you have a leg to stand on, Whatever. I might just be a shop apologist or something. But that's the way I've been looking at it. And it's like, it's so easy to shit on people. And I understand that. But I think it just reminds me of everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. And you think you have the best joke until you go up there on stage and you say it and no one laughs. And you're like, fuck, I've been working on that for a while. I thought that was gonna, get me my Netflix deal, but no. And it sucks, because some people, I'm not gonna lie to you and say it, like, I put 100 hours of work into my jokes, but some people really put in time, and hopefully it shows. I don't know. I think like on Sunday I might do the Tao just to get some more time in. Haven't done that in a long time. I'm definitely have to sign up for more classes. I also want to do some classes at the Groundlings. hmm That's my plan. That's what I want to do. It's hard. It's hard setting up time in the future for this stuff where I don't know where I am right now, you know? But I don't know what's going to happen because that's like the third time that my screen just shuts down or something. So, yeah, my hand. Hi. I feel like one of my favorite quotes that I've been listening to is from the movie or the book, The Chocolate Factory. We are the dreamers. We are the makers of worlds. And it's like, I don't know. I feel like I'm just throwing shit at the wall. And I feel like I have to throw harder and faster. But then, I don't know. I don't even know what I want to do. I don't even know what I'm doing. I feel like I have to just go to more open mics in different places to really get myself out there. I don't mind driving new places. Okay, guys, we're back. How about we? How about we play? We're kind of out of topics, you know. There's nothing I. Well, I heard today something. My wife's telling me that Nancy Pelosi's husband got attacked. I'll talk about that because I know nothing about that, but I'll talk about it. I told her that I don't think it was like a political thing. I think it might be like a stalker. She might have a stalker. They said that he got sent to the emergency or something, emergency room, but he's pretty old, so shit. If I fall out of bed, I probably have to go to the emergency room, so I can't really talk about that, right? Made me think. I'm like, how is it we're gonna set age limits on people being in office? Because some of these people are just too old. I don't know. Okay, back to what we were gonna do. So, what is this? A collection of questions for deeper discussions. Let's see where this takes us. What is the easiest way to break your trust? That's hard for me because I feel like I already don't really trust people. So it's hard for me to trust you to begin with. I feel like I'd rather start at a point where I don't trust you and like little by little I'll learn to trust you or not. You know, like it's a hard thing to do. But I feel like trusting someone is I remember I don't know. I don't know what I would say. I feel that's where I am at. That I am at a point where I would rather not trust anyone and build up to getting someone's trust. Someone's trust is consistency, honesty, um, uh, honesty, their follow through. I think that's something that's important too. That'll help me trust them. No, let's go to card number 2. Would you change the way society punishes criminals? This is a very controversial topic for me because I don't know. I I would say yes, but it's so hard to think about it because like when you understand the system of like the jail system, how it's a for-profit system and stuff like that, the things that I would want to implement kind of sounds like slavery. Like I would want prisoners to do more community service instead of just being in jail, you know? Like if we can get more people who are in prison, prisoners to do work that is less desirable, like picking fields, harvesting fields, being cowboys. Um, and this is me talking from a couch, sitting my fat ass, okay? I'm sorry. I understand this is bad, but um, more people cleaning up, the highways and cleaning trash and stuff like that. Um, what other jobs? Maybe teach prisoners how to weld and how to have trades, that can be useful in the future for them and for our society. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else. Like, it's hard to implement these things without someone taking advantage. And I think the person that would have to benefit would be the community in some way, not make it a for profit thing. It's something that'd be hard to do. But because most criminals are committing crimes against the community or against people, I think this would be a good way to use their energy, their time, and just use them instead of having people locked up. That's my. But again, have it be an option. Like if they want to do this, these are things they can do. Maybe it's out there already, and I don't know about it. And I'm just talking out of my ass. Again, that's all I'm doing, just talking out of my ass. But I think that's something that would help us in different ways. Like I feel like it would help a bit with our immigration problem. Not a problem. We we have a little bit of a problem. I think it's just people coming in to the border through the borders and stuff. It's not a problem, but I just know that people here, shit, people like me, I could be working out in the field. That's something I could be doing. But no, I want to be a fucking comic. So that's on me too. I get it. Um, I don't even know. So okay, so these are people who could work in those fields and stuff like that. Again, option to if they want to. I'm not forcing people to do these things, but I think that's something that, especially like if you can teach people to like be framers or construction workers or plumbers or something, that's something that like see, but I don't know how that would benefit the community. I don't understand. I don't know how that would benefit. Like you don't need an arsenal of plumbers. You would need someone to be able to fix like water treatment center or garbage disposal or something like that. It's complicated, very complicated. Um, and I mean, I haven't really. I feel like the United States is such a hard topic to do because, like, when people talk about like, oh, European countries and stuff like that, most not right now. I think it's different, and they're experiencing what we have experienced for a long time, which is something that like they're getting an influx of immigrants into their countries. And I feel like, especially in a lot of European countries, just before the influx of immigrants that would go into the countries, they're like, "Oh my God, you guys don't have free healthcare for everybody!" Like it's something that we have dealt here for a long time because it's hard to have. I've thought about this many times. It's like it's hard to get your neighbor to pay for your healthcare and stuff like that. Like I feel that because they all look the same. I'm not saying they are all the same. Like it's a little easier when it's like I think about it in a setting as like family. Like I am willing to help my sister out. I will take care of her kids if she needs me to. I will lend her money if she needs me to. But if the person who lives down the block from me asks me for $5 just because, not like I don't know them or anything, it's hard for me to be like, yeah, it's $5, whatever, $5 is $5. But it's hard for me to go like just give them $5, you know? Or it's hard for me, like if they go like, hey, can you take care of my kid? Like I don't know you, I'm not gonna take care of your kid. And I think that's a problem that we have in this country. Like this country has so many people and it's such a melting pot that we all have different views and different upbringings and different everything. It's hard to be like, we should come together as a country and pay for our health care or something like that. And people are like, yeah, but it's kind of hard to pay for health care for this guy or that guy. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like because some European countries like Denmark or I don't have these statistics on me, so I can't 100% talk about it. But these are smaller countries where people are mostly the same people. They're like they have the same upbringing. Like I feel like this is something in Mexico that it's a lot easier for me. It's not easier for me, but like it's something I see in Mexico. Like in Mexico, almost everybody that grows up in the town, like especially where my mom's from, like if everyone in that town shares the same experience because they are in the same shithole, you know, like not oh god shithole. This is getting so bad. I feel like Trump. It's not gonna start out Trump. It's not a shithole, okay? I love this place. I love it. It's just it's hard to get a job there, you know, especially if you're young. There's not a lot of options, and the ones that are there, they're really hard. It's really hard work. It's backbreaking work. Like no OSHA laws there, that kind of stuff, you know. And I don't even know where we got this. I don't even know how we got here. I think that was too little. Let's go back to the criminals. I think criminals should have options to find work outside of prison and use their time more efficiently. But it's hard because we live in a system that takes advantage of for-profit prisons and takes advantage of people who go to prison, and it's disproportionately people of color who I think are going to prison. There we go. That's what I said. That's what I said. Yeah. In my ideal world, if you went to prison, you would have the option to do other things instead of just waiting in prison and time going by. You could use your time for other things to either help the community or help others. Help yourself too, Like make yourself a better person. But it's hard because there are these things that make profit for people, so it gets squirrely and then gets kind of gets into like a little bit of a slavery thing, and then yeah. So in my ideal world, we're talking again, you would have other options to pay for your crime. Not just money, not just time, but your time doing some other stuff. Ooh, that was a hard one. Like, who the fuck cares? You know? You're fucking. You want to be a comic? Why do you do such political things? If you could be born in another era in history, which would you choose? I would not choose anything out of that era. I feel like I'm not the skin color that would benefit from being born in that era. Like this is as good as my generation has had it. I think my lineage of people who share the same blood as I do. I think I think this is as good as it's gotten. So I would stay here. Like my dad and his family came from. I'm not gonna say nothing, but they had a humble upbringing. My mom, they were poor. My mom and her family, they were poor. My grandpa was on my mom's side was really bad at managing money, managing crops, and I think he came from like some weird like little tribe up in the hills. I can't confirm any of these things. My grandfather on my dad's side, he owned a lot of burros, donkeys, asses, and he chopped wood for a living. Like he would leave the town slash city where he lived in the morning. He would wake up, walk. Actually, he would ride the burros to his destination to get firewood. He would find firewood. He would cut it up. He would load it up onto his donkeys, and he would bring it to his children, so his children would go out and sell firewood to the town. So I think I got it pretty good, here talking in front of the camera. I can't really say much, but talking about arrows, this is as good as it gets. Damn, that was a big 180. There's something I wanted to talk about, but I totally forgot. Um, living here era. Oh, maybe an era that I would not mind living in just for shits and giggles. Maybe like 1940 1949, 1950s, where you still had like silent movies and stuff, and maybe like if we could cut and paste me in those times today, that would be great. That like if I had the opportunity to become a comic or like a silent film actor in those times, I think so. I think that would be great. But other than that, no. Like what you could get away with being a joke or like being funny was a little different in those times. So that's what I would do. But if you ask me again, like in a serious note, I would not. I would still choose to be here. One more card before we get canceled. We can't get canceled. We're nobodies. Who's gonna cancel a nobody? Remember that. What is one underrated quality you find attractive in a person? Hobbit feet. You don't know what it's like to have hobbit feet. I'm just kidding. Um, Underrated. What is one underrated quality you find attractive? Okay, I don't think this is underrated, but this is something like I really love about my wife. Like she's out of my league just because I'm so out of. I don't know. She's out of my league. I love that my wife like she looks beautiful without makeup. Like she looks beautiful with makeup, but she doesn't wear makeup on an everyday basis. Even when she does, I'm like, where are you going, whore? Like, who? Why? Why do you have so much makeup? Stop being such a whore. No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't say that. Don't tell her I said that. I'm gonna get in trouble. Um, there's very few times I've seen her with like a full face of makeup, and it's okay. I mean, it's cool. I like it, but I love that she just looks so beautiful without it, and it's a big plus. I'm not gonna lie to you because I remember the first time I saw her take her makeup off. We were in high school. It was prom night, and she started taking her eyelashes off, and I'm like, "What is going on here? Like, you're becoming the Bionic Woman or something, or you were the Bionic Woman." Um, but yeah, that's something I really like because I remember there was this girl in our class in high school in our like homeroom, and she's a really pretty girl. She's still really pretty, but she wears a lot of makeup, or she used to wear a lot of makeup. I think she still does. And she got in trouble one time with her parents, so they confiscated her makeup for like a week. The first day I saw her without makeup, I thought this girl was sick. I thought she had been puking her guts out the whole weekend. I thought she had like, I think she had the original COVID or something. She looked so bad. And I was like, dude, are you okay? Like, we all talked to her, like, dude, are you okay? Like, get the bus away, you know? And she's like, my parents I got in trouble with my parents and they took away my makeup for a week. I'm like, oh, this is you just not wearing makeup. Like, it's not that you're ugly, it's just that you wear makeup all the time. So then when you don't have it on, you look weird. And that's something I really appreciate and I found very attractive. When a girl looks, and I know people say this all the time, when a girl looks cute without, like beautiful without makeup on. But, Jesus, I've seen some women, like, when they put their makeup, like, I've seen them with makeup, and I'm like, damn, that's a beautiful woman. That is, she's really pretty. And then they take their makeup off, and I'm like, I'm not, I, again, I am a fat slob, women, okay? But I am also still, I think, allowed to have my opinion, you know? Um, when like a woman who wears a lot of makeup, and I see her without makeup, it's just you see like her ojeras. Nothing bad, but I'm just like, when you cover it up on such a daily basis, like it's weird, or like, or your nose looks weird, or you're a little patchy. Again, I am a fat fucking slob. I cannot. I'm not judging you. I'm just pointing out these things. I don't care. A woman knows a woman. Mujeres están hermosas como sea. I'm just making an observation. So this is the thing, like I love about my wife. Like I remember when we got married, she had her makeup done and everything, and I'm like, it looked beautiful, but I think I would have wanted to see her without it. And just like how we see each other every day, regularly. Okay, guys, should I do one more? Let's do one more. It's 2:18 in the morning. I'd be getting up for work right now. If it was 5 years ago, that'd be me getting up to work right now. Come up with a new Olympic sport in which you would definitely medal. Damn. An Olympic sport where I would get a medal. I don't know. There's nothing that I'm like really good at. That sucks. Like I'm not even like the best fat person out there. I'm not a good skinny fat person. I'm not a fat skinny person. Um, an Olympic sport. Like I can eat a lot of food, but I can't eat like tons of food. There's people who can eat like I can't say competitive eating because I just not I someone would beat me. Um, my Olympic sport would be who who has the shittiest podcast, and that probably would be me because if I say anything else, I'm not saying I'm kicking ass in life right now, but I'm doing pretty well for myself. I think I just have a shitty podcast that I don't know how to do things. I don't know. Like I feel like I have to work up on my setup here. Like I just have my keys, my house, man. It's my house. I haven't gotten a guest on. I haven't sent emails for guests that I said I wanted. You know, this beige as back screen is kind of lame. I feel like I'm falling asleep. We're all falling asleep together. Uh, let's do one more because I don't think that was too great. Yeah, one more. Last one. What's something about your life now that you would miss when you're 80? Boy, I don't think I'm making it to 80, so the whole thing. Um, what's one thing I would miss now in my life? I think being able to see my parents. Like, if I know my parents are gonna die, and have my I've known they're always gonna die. That's what we're here for. We nacimos para morir. We're born to die. But when it actually happens, that's when you're just like, God damn. So I remember this guy talking about like my parents live in Mexico now, They still come and visit sometimes. But I'm like, my parents are 68 or something. My dad's 60. I don't know how. I think 68 or something like that. 68. Let's say 70. 70. They got probably like another 20 years. Let's be realistic, 20 years. If I see them only once a year, that's 20 more times I get to see my parents. Fuck, I didn't think I was going to cry. That's 20 more times you get to see your parents. Maybe, like, let's say, let's add in two more trips, 40 more times. That's 40 more times that you get to see your parents. So, I remember this guy talking about it. So he's like, maybe, how about this? Maybe start making more trips to go visit your parents if you can. Because they're not going to be here for a long time. And I know that's a privilege because we've talked about this. That it's a privilege to go see your parents. I know there's people here who have worked here in the United States for a long time. And because they don't have papers, their parents have died. And they couldn't go visit them. They couldn't go to the funeral. What are they gonna do? They can't come back. So if you have the ability to see your parents, hug them, kiss them every day you can. I didn't think I was gonna get a little emotional there, but damn, I did. Maybe not just your parents, too. Like your loved ones, your aunties and uncles that helped raise you too. Sometimes we don't give them enough credit for everything they've done for us. And sometimes they just want us to be good people, live a good life, to live a better life than they have, not have to struggle as much. And I think that's something we forget sometimes. So when people tell me like, "Oh, the American dream is dead," I don't think the American dream is dead. I think sometimes it just changes names, or sometimes we forget what it's called. But that's what it is. You want your family to do better than you, and your family wants better for you than they had. You want you better for your kids than you had. Okay, guys. I think I was gonna get that emotional. Comment, like, and subscribe. And that just sounds cheap by me saying this, but fuck it. We're gonna grow this podcast. We're gonna grow it. We're gonna talk about comedy. We're gonna play this fucking game that's been pretty fun. You guys get to know me, get to know who I am. We're gonna have fucking sell tickets because we're gonna go on tours. We're gonna be a touring comic. We're gonna fucking interview people who we think are funny or interesting or anything because I am a multifaceted person. I like business. I like comedy. I love adventure. So let's fucking do this, guys. Let's do this for us. Let's do this for our forefathers. Let's do this for our parents. Let's do it for this country. Fucking fuck yeah. We're gonna fucking do this. Peace out. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe.